Hi AP Seminar students, Mr. Muller here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about lenses and perspectives. We're not talking about writing argument, what is argument, claims, reasons or subclaims, evidence, counterclaims. We're not touching on any of that today. We're going to be focusing on how we see issues, because I think that a lot of times we have a very simplistic view of a question or a topic. We think we can only look at it one way, when in fact there's multiple ways to view topics and questions as you do research and as you write and present arguments. So we're going to be talking about that today and how you can use that to create argument later. Hope you're excited. I'm excited. Let's get started. First thing I want to talk about is lenses. Lenses are just how we view a topic or a question. Now we're going to be using a couple of different examples in today's video, but while I'm introducing it, I'm going to talk about the topic of immigration. Immigration is a very complex topic, and there's multiple ways that I can view the effects of immigration depending on what lens I look at it from, what glasses I put on. If I'm looking at it from a scientific perspective and I'm looking at data, I'm going to see this issue is different than I'm looking at it from an economic lens and seeing it as an economist, or a historian and I'm seeing it from the patterns of history, or an ethical lens where I'm looking at the ethics of immigration. Depending on how I approach the topic will define what I think about the topic. Now the reason that's important is because when you do these big performance tasks, for instance your group paper, you're going to look at one particular topic and every single person in your group will look at it through a different lens. So it's important to note that there are different ways we can look at topics. Now when we look at a topic through a lens, let's say immigration, a lens is just how we view it. But the statement or the opinion or the claim that we're going to have from that lens is a perspective. And there are always multiple perspectives about a topic through a lens. And the reason why I'm saying that is when you do research and when you're trying to really understand a particular topic, you're going to see a lot of different people with a lot of different perspectives coming from a lens. So if we're looking at immigration, and I'm going to put on an economic lens, so I'm going to look at immigration and how it affects global trade and GDP. And let's say I start researching on that, and I found out there are a lot of different economic perspectives on immigration. Some may say it helps and raises GDP. Some may say it puts a strain on economies of governments because of social services. I could say that the money that needs to be invested in infrastructure and in assimilation is a strain on the country. There are all these different perspectives on immigration depending on that lens. So that's what perspectives really are. They're just statements from that lens on that topic. So again, lens is just what we're looking at it from. Perspective is those statements from that lens. Now in AP Seminar, there are 8 main lenses that we look at. Now we're not restricted to just these 8, but these are the common ones that you most likely use. Social and cultural, so how do people interact? Artistic and philosophical, so that's kind of the higher order thinking or artistic views. Ethical, are these particular things ethical? Political and historical, how does it affect things in a government perspective or throughout history? Futuristic, what is this issue going to look like in 50 years? Environmental, how does this issue impact the environment? Economic, how does it impact money? And scientific, how does it impact, and this could be anything from psychological to medicine to engineering. Now let me practice this a little bit. So you can look at a particular topic through different lenses. So let's take immigration. I'm going to look at it through a political lens. So I'm going to look at the effects of immigration in terms of government. Well, I could have a lot of different perspectives about this. I could say that immigration could contribute to the rise of hard right-wing parties in Europe. Or I could say that immigration allows a larger voter base for more inclusion in government. So even though I was looking at that theme through a political lens, my perspectives were all coming from that. Cultural and social. So I'm going to look at it from a sociologist lens, and look at immigration. So some perspectives, if I did research, I could say things like immigration allows for more globalization of cultures. I could say that immigration could lead to a clash of cultures and norms. Now again, all those perspectives can be very different. All I'm saying is that there are different perspectives when you look at that topic through a lens. And we already gave an example for economic. Let's look at another example. Effects of social media is a topic that I'm looking at. Okay, so let's take it from a scientific perspective. I could look at the hormonal changes in your brain when you're on social media. So I could say that the effects of social media lead to a type of addiction in the brain. I could say that the effects of social media degenerate eyesight or would lead to a higher chance of carpal tunnel syndrome. If we're looking at it from a political lens, I could say that the effects of social media could rally people to particular causes, that politicians and governments could harness social media to bring awareness to issues that they're trying to push through. We can also look at topics through what we call stakeholder positions. These aren't particularly the 8 lenses, but they're looking at a topic through a particular group's perspective. So let's say I'm looking at Facebook users. So I'm going to look at the effects of social media with the lens of a Facebook user. And I could say that the effects of social media allow people in different countries, family members, friends to communicate. I could look at it from a stakeholder position of parents, let's say, and say the effects of social media have degenerated face-to-face contact between students and parents. So again, the only reason we're talking about lenses and perspectives is so that you know when you're looking at a topic, there are a lot of different ways to look at it. And that's going to help you write argument. Hope you learned something you did not know before. Have a great day.